Bandi, wrong. The enemy is ignorance. Ashtavakra, and who is ignorant? One ordinary morning, something extraordinary happened. A 12-year-old boy walked into King Janak's royal court. His body was bent in 8 places. His clothes were simple. His face was calm. And his eyes carried a silence that no scholar in the assembly understood. The moment he entered, laughter echoed through the hall. Bandi looked at the boy and smiled. Bandi, has King Janak's court become a playground? Or have the scholars become so frightened that they now send children to challenge me? The court erupted in laughter. The boy stood perfectly still. Then he laughed even louder than everyone else. The entire hall became silent. Bandi, why are you laughing? Ashtavakra, because I had heard this was a gathering of wise men. But after seeing all of you, I realize I have entered a marketplace where people judge skin instead of wisdom. Not a single scholar spoke. King Janak slowly leaned forward. Bandi's smile faded. Bandi, careful boy, every person sitting here has spent decades studying the Vedas. Ashtavakra, then those decades have not helped them see beyond a body. If a bent body is enough to disturb their intelligence was never very deep. Silence. The laughter had disappeared. Every eye in the royal court was fixed upon the 12-year-old boy. The royal court was completely silent. No one laughed anymore. Bandi took a slow step toward the young boy. For the first time in years, he looked at an opponent with curiosity instead of arrogance. Bandi, tell me your name. Ashtavakra. I am Ashtavakra. Bandi, the son of Kahoda. Ashtavakra. Yes. Bandi, your father stood exactly where you stand today. He believed he could defeat him. He failed. What makes you think your fate will be any different? Ashtavakra smiled. My father came to defeat you. I came to expose you. A murmur spread through the assembly. Bandi folded his arms. Bandi, expose me. Ashtavakra, yes, you have defeated scholars, but you have never defeated your own pride. Bandi laughed. Pride? I have earned my reputation. Ashtavakra, the moment a man begins protecting his reputation, he stops searching for truth. King Janak watched without interrupting. He had never seen anyone speak to Bandi like this. Bandi, very well. Let us see whether your words contain understanding. What is the greatest enemy of man? Ashtavakra, the one he calls I. The scholars looked at one another. Bandi, wrong. The enemy is ignorance. Ashtavakra, and who is ignorant? The one who believes he is merely a person. Bandi became serious. Bandi, can learning destroy ignorance? Ashtavakra, learning can decorate ignorance. Only direct seeing destroys it. A long silence followed. Bandi changed direction. What is knowledge? Ashtavakra, borrowed memory. Bandi, and wisdom? Ashtavakra, that which remains when borrowed memory falls away. Several scholars lowered their eyes. The words struck deeper than they wished to admit. Bandi, if scriptures are borrowed, why study them at all? Ashtavakra, scriptures point, they do not arrive. A finger pointing at the moon is useful until someone begins worshipping the finger. Even King Janak smiled. Bandi noticed it. His confidence began to weaken. Bandi, You speak against scholarship. Ashtavakra. No, I speak against becoming imprisoned by it. You know many words, but tell me, have you met the one who speaks them? The court became perfectly still. Bandi answered immediately, I am the speaker. Ashtavakra shook his head. Then show him to me. Point to him. Is he your body? Bandi remained silent. Is he your thoughts? Is he your memory? Still no answer. Ashtavakra continued. Everything you call I changes. How can the changing be your true nature? The silence in the court became almost unbearable. Bandi tried to recover. Enough. You speak cleverly, but debates are not won by philosophy. They are won by knowledge. Answer according to the ancient tradition. Ashtavak nodded. I am listening. Bandi. What is one? Ashtavakra. The self. Without division. Bandi. Two. Ashtavakra. The illusion of observer and observed. Bandi. Three. Ashtavakra. The three states, waking, dreaming and deep sleep, all witnessed by one awareness. Bandi. Four. Ashtavakra. The four Vedas. They describe, they cannot contain. Bandi. Five. Ashtavakra. The senses. Five beautiful thieves that continuously steal attention. The scholars nodded. Bandi. Six. Ashtavakra. The seasons change. The witness does not. Bandi. Seven. Ashtavakra. Seven sacred flames, but truth requires no fire. Bandi. Eight. Ashtavakra smiled. The body may bend in 8 places, awareness bends nowhere. For the first time, the scholars did not laugh. They understood the answer. Bandi noticed it. His breathing became slower. King Janaka could see it. The great scholar was beginning to struggle, and Ashtavakra had not yet truly begun. The silence inside King Janaka's court had become heavier than words. For years, scholars had watched Bandi destroy one opponent after another. Today, for the first time, they were watching Bandi search for answers. He looked directly into Ashtavakra's eyes. There was no anger in the boy, no excitement, no desire to win, only complete stillness. Bandi drew a deep breath. Very well. Let us continue. 9. What is 9? Ashtavakra. The 9 gates of the body. People spend their entire lives decorating those gates, without ever entering the one who lives within. Several scholars quietly lowered their heads. Bandi. 10. Ashtavakra. 10 directions. But awareness belongs to none of them. It has no location. Bandi. 11. Ashtavakra. The 10 senses together with the mind. A man who cannot master them calls himself free while living as their servant. Bandi nodded slowly. His confidence was fading. Yet he continued. Bandi. 12. Ashtavakra. 12 months complete a year. Time measures change. The self never changes. The court became completely still. Bandi remained silent for several moments. Then he spoke the final question. 13. What is 13? Ashtavakra smiled gently. Then he answered. You have spent your entire life counting scriptures, counting verses, counting victories, counting defeated scholars. But truth cannot be counted. The moment you begin counting, you have already moved from that which is beyond number. Bandi did not answer. For the first time in many years, he had nothing to say. The scholars looked at one another. Nobody moved. King Janaka slowly stood from his throne. Before the king could speak, Ashtavakra looked once more at Bandi. May I ask you one final question? Bandi nodded quietly. Ask. As you stand here now, without another question left to ask, who are you? Bandi opened his mouth. Nothing came. He searched through the Vedas. Nothing. He searched through memories. Nothing. He searched through every debate he had ever won. Nothing. The answer had never been inside knowledge. It requires seeing, not remembering. Minutes passed. The great scholar remained silent. Ashtavakra spoke once more. The mind always has another answer. Awareness does not. The one who knows does not stand here trying to become victorious. The desire to win is proof that the ego is still alive. The words struck the entire assembly. Many scholars suddenly realized they had spent decades collecting knowledge without ever questioning the collector. King Janak finally raised his hand. His voice echoed across the royal hall. The debate is finished. The victory belongs to Ashtavakra. No one here has witnessed greater scholarship. We have witnessed something far greater. A mind completely free of itself. The court stood in silence. No applause, no celebration, only silence. Then Bandi slowly stepped forward. He bowed before the 12-year-old boy. Today I have been defeated. Not by greater memory, not by greater argument, but by one who has seen what I only studied. Then Bandi revealed the truth. I am not your father's enemy. I am the son of Varuna. The defeated Brahmins were not killed. They were sent to my father's great sacrifice beneath the waters. That sacrifice is complete. They shall now return. At that very moment, the Brahmins emerged safely from the waters. Among them stood Kahoda. After many years, father and son faced one another again. Kahoda looked at the boy with tears in his eyes. My son, today the father has been liberated by the son. Ashtavakra bowed. There was never a father. There was never a son. There was only truth, waiting to be recognized. The entire court fell silent once more. No one laughed at the boy, whose body was bent in 8 places, because everyone now understood. The crooked body had entered the court, but it was the straight vision that had conquered it. And that is why, thousands of years later, the world still remembers Ashtavakra. Not because he defeated Bandi, but because he defeated the oldest illusion of all. That wisdom belongs to age. That truth belongs to scholarship. And that enlightenment can be measured by appearance. The 12-year-old walked into King Janak's court alone. He walked out, leaving behind a lesson that no century has been able to erase. Knowledge can defeat another mind. Only direct seeing can end the mind itself.